y dos, y dos, una, y dos, una, y dos.
Hello and welcome to Cortesnyc Livestream, the podcast.
This show broadcasts out of New York City.
We are your hosts, Cortesnyc,
And Carla de Puerto Rico.
and on this show we talk about art, creativity, city life from a Latino perspective. I'm a visual artist.
And I'm a singer.
And this is episode 90, Art is Blind.
As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Spotify, and on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr.
And listen, don't forget my online store, cortesnyc.bigcartel.com. There you can find posters, graffiti pins, graffiti stickers, original art by me, yours truly, Cortesnyc. So if you like this podcast, you like my artwork, make sure to go on there and support.
And also find me on YouTube and SoundCloud, Carla de Puerto Rico. There you can find my latest album, Otras Versiones.
Let's get on with the show, Carla.
Let's go.
Art is blind.
Is it?
It is blind. Nah, mentira, it's not blind. That's the whole point of this episode. The whole point of this episode is nobody is blind. It's a stupid phrase to say love is blind or art is blind or that you don't prejudge people or or that you don't want to judge people. Of course you want to judge people.
That's true, and it happens in any environment.
Any environment.
Happens to me every day.
Every day. Oh, especially in sales. Forget about it. In
Yes.
sales,
Yeah.
it's all about image and judging.
Yeah, and it's crazy.
So let's start this episode. This is a big old episode about doing things on blindly, quote unquote blindly, or without any pretense or any image. And I'm going to start this portion, the art talk portion, on art is blind. Is art blind? I looked online. I did a little research and started trying to find videos on image, on artist image. I think this talk is going to relate to people whether you are a visual artist or a music artist, a musician. If you're working in an office somewhere or your day job, believe me, even at your day job, even if you're working at a store or something, image matters.
Of course.
Presentation matters. If you're a chef, for example, that's a perfect example. I think that was like one of the best examples I could think of. If you're a chef, the food matters. Who cooked it? The story behind where the food came from matters to how you taste the food. If I bring you a hamburger and I tell you that your mom made it, or I bring you a hamburger and I tell you that this famous chef made it,
it's gonna taste totally different.
Totally different. And one is gonna feel like it's some sort of artisanal burger, even though your mom made it.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, but it's quaint. It has personality.
Right. Yeah.
And the other one is gonna be like, oh, it's a famous chef, so it must be something really special, and it ends up being McDonald's, whatever.
Exactly.
But I think presentation and the story behind where you get things matters, and I think that's what this talk is about. I think there's no denying it. If you're an artist, we're living in a society right now that because of the internet, online presence, everybody's an artist pretty much. Everybody has to worry about their image.
Exactly.
If you're putting something online, you are worried about your image. You want to, even you thinking that you don't want to worry about image is an image that you're trying to put out there.
Right. And actually now thinking about it, it's kind of like public relations, right? Where the fact that you can think that only corporations, companies, and artists will need public relations is not true, because we all need a sense of public image and know how to communicate with other people in order to, develop relationships, and then from there maybe sell yourself to whatever it is, a school, your classmates, your coworkers. So it's very interesting because all these kind of go together with that theme of public relations, public image.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we're all our own little brands.
Yeah, of course.
My mom has a brand. on Facebook, basically.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically, think about it that way. You guys listening to us right now, think about it that way. Doesn't your mom have a brand on Facebook? I know everybody's mom's on Facebook.
Yeah.
But she has a brand. Your dad has a brand.
Yeah.
Your sister has a brand. Your cousin, that cousin, the crazy cousin from Florida that you never see, has a brand. It's the crazy cousin from Florida. In your eyes, that's her brand.
Yeah. Like this quote is very appropriate for this theme.
Dale.
It says, "Your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card. How you leave others feeling after an experience with you is your trademark." So that definitely goes with the theme of you are your own brand, and it doesn't matter what you do. You need to be aware of how do you present yourself, what stories do you tell, and most importantly, also the image that you put out there on social media and on everyday life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go quickly through some ideas just to brainstorm a little bit with you guys. If you guys are listening to this podcast, you guys have been long-time listeners and supporters of this podcast. We always talk about this kind of stuff, branding and art and all that. We're getting back into it. But you know, branding, I wanted to revisit it, especially because I feel that recently I've come across certain situations that have made me more aware of it. And I've had to kind of reinforce it. So take this as not just me talking with you guys. I know it's a one-way conversation right now, but you guys are welcome to join in the conversation.
That's right.
Cortesnyc Livestream on Instagram.
Join
leave us a message.
Comments, yeah.
Yeah,
or leave us in the comments on iTunes, Apple Podcasts.
Exactly.
You know where to find us.
But listen, so this is more like a reinforcement for myself. So just take it like that and just join me on this conversation, this little brainstorm. But number one, image, presentation, brand. What is your image? How do you present yourself? Image is the way I define it is it's your clothing. I mean, for me as a man, 80% of it is clothing.
Yeah.
A little bit of it is hair.
Yeah.
We don't wear makeup, so it's not that much that. Cologne is part of your image. You know, are you always trying to smell fresh and that kind of stuff? But image, you know, what kind of hat, what kind of glasses, what kind of shoes, what kind of, you know, the clothing and accessories, that's all part of it.
Yeah.
Your body image is a part of it.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable in your body image? It doesn't mean that you have to be a tall, handsome, physically fit person. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm comfortable with me. So I'm comfortable with that image and it doesn't contradict, you know, I'm not a tall, handsome, muscular guy trying to be humble and shy. And I'm not, you know, let's say, like myself, a short, you know, healthy weight person.
Well, you're handsome and comfortable.
But I'm not trying to be a tall, you know,
not
muscular
trying to be
guy.
what you're not. You're comfortable in your own skin.
And that's part of it, is being comfortable in your own image, being comfortable with your identity, identifying it for yourself, being realistic and being comfortable in it. I think your image is a lot. How you present your image is important.
Right. And not knowing what makes you comfortable and what makes you feel, you know, that you are confident in yourself. Like, for example, for me, I need to wear earrings. And sometimes when I don't wear earrings, I feel naked. Yeah, I feel like something is missing. Like I don't look the same, that I look bland. Even if I don't wear makeup, I don't wear makeup every day. But even when I don't, I do need to wear earrings, like for some reason. Earrings, my hair, for women it's more the makeup if you're into that, even a makeup, no makeup look, and then definitely the clothing, which definitely define your whole image and your confidence in yourself.
So aside from image, I'll say presentation, right?
Yeah.
So presentation is the next part that I would put in there. Presentation is how do you put this image in motion? That's the way I see it. I'm speaking for myself. But just the way I see it is, how do I put this image in motion? So I have an image together. I know that this is how I like to portray myself into society, whether I'm going for a job interview or I'm going for my job with people that I work for years with. They see me every day, but every day I am conscious of how I present myself to them. Or even if I'm just riding the train. I'm just one of those people that I'm aware of how I look on the train. And I'm conscious of it. And I know that, and this is stupid, but God forbid an accident happen, I don't want to be the guy that they find in the news and they're like, this weirdo that was dressed like this.
That's very Latina mom. Que si te dicen, no te pongas un panty que esté roto o una media que esté rota porque tú no sabes qué te puede pasar en la calle.
So presentation is important. So how do you put this thing in motion? Now, in presentation comes how do you speak? How do you your mannerisms?
Yeah.
How do you? And I don't want to just say, oh, you speak in perfect English or perfect Spanish or perfect whatever. No, it's not even that, and it's not ass kissing or changing who you are. It's just that who you are is a conscious decision.
Yeah.
And that presentation is important. And also, how do you treat people is part of your presentation.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God.
It's not just how you speak.
Yeah.
It's how do you let others speak.
It's even more how you let others speak and how you treat people.
So it's how do you interact back and forth is part of your presentation. So I don't want people to take away from this like presentation means how do you speak in front of people, public presentation. No, it's an interaction.
No, exactly. Yeah.
You to the other person, how do you present it, and that so that they can interact back, and then how do you give that experience back to that person, right? So that's your presentation. And then your brand, like you just said, your brand. What is your brand? Well, your brand to me is what do people say about you when you're not there? What did you leave behind for people to talk about? You know, how do they see you? If you've been working in an office or working in a store or working in a restaurant for 4, 5, 6 years, what do people know you as? Do they know you as the person that comes in with high energy? Do they know you as the person who gets things done? Do they know you as a take no bullshit kind of person? Or do they know you as a team player? Or do they know you as a how can I help you kind of person? Like so many aspects. There's no one right answer. I'm not trying to define a correct answer. I'm just trying to make us aware that this is a thing, right?
Yeah.
And then some things that I thought about, like as an artist, growing up as an artist, I was a very young artist. I started as an artist very young, as a teen. So I consider myself a teen artist, just like you imagine teen actors, right?
Yeah.
When I was a teen artist, I was I came into my own and got recognition as a teenager as an artist. So a lot of my identity is kind of not trapped, but like involved in that spirit that I had then. Fortunately, I don't have a problem with continuing it. It doesn't contradict my growth. It never stopped me from growing. I've only built on top of it. But I remember early on and then going through my early adulthood, considering different people and how they approach their image as an artist. Some people wanted to be very professional.
Yeah.
Like they felt that was an image, is to be professional, because professional means very credible. So you want to be very well dressed or very serious and always show name drop and always show that you're very on top of the knowledgeable of the highest of the high of the things that we're talking about.
Yes.
There's that personality, image, right? There's the relatable person. Sometimes I fall into that too. Relatable, like, hey, I identify with you. Hey, you're like the every guy. You're like the average person. You're an artist, but you're like a regular person too.
Yeah, exactly. But you're normal.
You're normal, right? So there's that personality, and that's not normal. That is an image that you're putting out there.
Right.
Serious, no nonsense, only business, facts.
Straight. Oh my God.
That's another personality.
Like
that's different than professional. Professional is different than that.
Yes.
People that are very serious, no nonsense, no joking. You know, that's their image. You know what I mean? That's an image, and I respect it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're always right, but I get it.
But they think they're always right.
The other one that I identified amongst artists is the too cool. Too cool. I'm just too cool.
I'm too cool to talk to people.
I'm too cool to worry.
I'm too cool to share with you my knowledge and everything.
And now, what I find, and this is interesting, but a lot of times those personalities don't even realize that they're doing it.
Yeah, and they think that it's like, that's me.
That's just me. And they don't realize that they're actually putting that out there. But there's the people that they're too cool. They're very secure. They're very aware and in the know of everything that's happening, social things that are happening. So they're too cool. They're not stressing anything. They're just an artist and just doing their thing. And I respect it. But there's an element to that that exists in the art community.
Yeah.
The authentic non-image. People that are like, I'm just me. I'm just very authentic. I'm just so honest. I'm just an open book.
Right.
You know what I mean? No pretense. I'm not hiding anything from anybody.
So they're sharing the whole life story
Yeah.
on in social media.
Yeah. And this is different than the relatable person. The relatable person is a normal person, right? Quote unquote normal.
Kind of like normal, meaning no drama, no craziness.
Exactly.
I'm just normal.
No pretense, no high, no low.
Right.
Authentic is like, I'm so real.
Yes.
I'm so real. I'm too real.
So exactly.
Which makes you fake because you're so real that
Exactly.
it's like you
Like
can't
you're
be
exaggerating your reality.
Exactly, and that's fine. But that's another trend in art imagery, right? Another one saying the word trend, trendy, fashionable artist. There is the trendy, fashionable artist. There's the artist that is always on the latest trend, the latest fashion, different than the too cool. Because this person can be nerdy,
right?
and this person can be serious. This person can be authentic, but they're fashionable, they're trendy. Right?
So that their art is also fashionable.
Fashionable and trendy. Exactly. So they can be all these other elements, but most importantly is that it's trendy and fashion and it's stylish. You know what I mean? It's got style to it. That's their main focus out of everything. That's a personality.
That's
a
cool.
personality.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the last one that I'll say there is the crazy, wild, rock and roll, rebellious. Right? Some people might say rock and roll. Some people, depending on your culture, you might say reggaetonero.
Exactly.
Some people might say,
Oh, mafutero.
Yeah, there's a the trap person, the wild person. I'm just too crazy, man. I just, you can't control me. I'm just too wild. Too much for you. You can't handle
the
me.
bad bunnies.
Yeah, I'm too much for you. You know what I mean? Like you can't handle me.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I get it. I get it. It exists. It exists in all art forms. There's the crazy, all the things that I just described. Rewind this podcast and think about it. Does it apply to a chef?
Yeah.
Yes. There are chefs that are like this.
Yeah.
Does it apply to musicians? Yes. There are musicians that are like every one of these. Does it apply to a visual artist, a graffiti artist, a graphic designer? Yes.
Of course.
Yes. These things exist in all genres.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are some of the things that I identified. I think my conclusion to all those things is no matter what you do, you know what I mean? No matter what you put out, people are going to see what they see. So you're going to think that you're putting something out. And the reality is you need to really be more aware of what people are receiving than what you're putting out.
Right.
That might help you to kind of take away some of the pressure of like, man, I got to formulate a personality.
That was,
And it might make you realize it's not your job to formulate a personality. It's your job to just be you.
Exactly.
It's your job to identify what are people picking up about you. That's more important.
That's how, like the quote I said at the beginning.
Exactly.
The experience that you make people feel or that you left people with, that's your trademark. So that's what they're going to remember forever. So it's more of are you being authentic with yourself, and then also how you treat others. Like, treat others how you would like to be treated.
And I think if you do that,
yeah,
you're going to learn more about your own identity because then you'll identify what they're seeing in you.
Right.
They'll be more open to share what they like or don't like about you. And or even just what they're taking away from you.
Or they appreciate about you.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to identify it better. So it's better for you to listen than for you to put out and not listen, right?
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to this person on YouTube, and this is another really great resource for things related to this kind of topic. This guy, Brandman Sean, is the YouTube handle, or it's Brandman or Brandman Sean. I've been following him for a while. I've been watching his videos. Great videos on artist identity and marketing and that kind of thing. Some of the points that one of his videos, he pointed out these 4 points. He quoted Gandhi. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but he mentioned a quote from Gandhi that Gandhi said, 4 things that are going to happen when you put yourself out there. Number 1, people are going to ignore you. They're going to ignore you. That doesn't mean that you should hide from people. That means that sometimes you're going to put yourself out there, and sometimes people don't want to put themselves out there because they're afraid of being ignored. Put yourself out there. Either way, they're going to ignore you. You might as well just put yourself out there.
Exactly.
But the first step is that people are going to ignore you.
Exactly.
They're going to purposely ignore you because they're just going to be like, okay.
I don't care what you put
out. You put something out. It's okay. I'm living my greatest life. So why do I got to pay attention to you, right? First stage of this quote is people are going to ignore you. Second stage, people are going to laugh at you. After they ignore you, once they stop ignoring and start paying attention,
It's like, oh, they're
gonna-
really doing something.
they're
It's
gonna
not
mock
even that
you.
good. Ha ha.
Exactly. They're gonna mock you. They're gonna ridicule you. They're gonna laugh at you.
Yeah.
They're gonna try to tear you down a little bit, right? And when that doesn't work, they go to stage 3, which is they're gonna fight you. They're gonna actually attempt to critique you. Fight. I don't mean physically fight. I mean critique
Arguments
you, challenge
and, like,
you. They're gonna-
constructive criticism,
they're gonna
supposedly.
attempt to challenge you, and this is something that you should be prepared to embrace.
Yeah.
And then finally, you're gonna win. That's the final stage. You're gonna actually win over your fans.
Yeah.
You're gonna win them over. That means that you're not gonna have people. You're gonna have to wait 4 stages to get some fans. You're gonna have to wait for people to ignore you, for people to mock you and laugh at you, and for people to
hate
fight
you.
you, and then actually win them over.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready for that long haul, you're in the wrong business. Like you need to. If you're gonna create your identity, you're gonna put yourself out there as an artist. You need to be prepared for these stages.
You need to have tough skin.
Tough skin. You have to be able to prepare yourself for that. Especially the part where, he mentioned it, the part where people fight you. He was saying, when you have people fighting you and hating you like that, when you have a lot of haters, that means you have an equal amount of people that are passionately loving and supporting you.
Yeah.
Once you're at that stage, you kind of divided people.
Exactly.
Once you're at that stage, you've come to a point where people hate you as much as they love you. You have to identify that and understand that, and be ready for that.
And it's all part also of the algorithm. Like you see now on YouTube, you need to have also a large amount of dislikes as a large amount of likes. And that's going to get you for more people to follow you and to find your videos and to find your content. So,
yeah. And then I think another thing that I'll say is some of the things that I took away from his videos, he mentioned, some pointers, some tips for creating your identity and supporting it. Make sure you stand out. Make sure that you go against the norm when possible. Meaning the norm, meaning the expected, that should be expected from you.
yeah.
Make sure that the things you do are timeless, that they're not within your own time or within a specific time, but that they're timeless, that they're related to you and they can only come from you in your time period. And exaggerate your character. Identify your character, but then don't be afraid to exaggerate it. Don't be afraid to amplify it so that people can understand you a lot easier and digest your personality a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's always helpful. Don't be shy to exaggerate your personality.
Yeah.
Find a thing that is unique, about you. Identify your influences. Pick one influence and say, hey, what inspires me? Pick the first influence. And then pick a second influence that is completely different from your first influence. Find these contradictory influences that make you unique, and then find your own unique voice within that as well. Combine all these elements to create an identity that means something to you for your whole career, something that you can really build on. Not just the mood you're in, not just the style that you're in at the moment. Good luck. Culture talk, Carla.
Yes, culture talk.
What are we talking about this culture talk?
So we're gonna be talking about the show on Netflix that is called Love is Blind.
Yes.
Continuing with this quote or theme of blindness.
Right, no image doesn't matter.
Yeah,
The non-image.
right.
Yeah, right.
Feelings, you cannot see feelings.
Why do they even bother with a show like this in a world that we're in that is so superficial right now?
Because that was the point. The point was to prove that we don't need to be that superficial, but we'll see.
You mean to prove that we are superficial?
I guess, yeah, because at the end we ended up knowing what we knew from the beginning.
That love is not blind.
Love is not blind, and yeah, and you're gonna see why. But I'm gonna explain a little bit about the show and what's the concept. All
right, Carla, you got 15 minutes. Go.
Let's go. Okay, so Love is Blind is a dating reality TV series. It's very similar to Married at First Sight.
Okay.
Even though I liked Married at First Sight better, but okay.
Okay.
It was a 3-week event series, and this was supposed to be an experiment where it was divided in 3 steps. The first steps, it was 10 days in a speed dating format where like 10 men and 10 women were dating each other but never see each other. So they were talking, they could hear each other's voices, but they could not see each other.
Got you.
Whenever they decided, the men were able to propose to the woman they wanted to get married to. And after the proposal, they revealed themselves to their partners, where they were able to see each other for the first time.
Gotcha.
So
So total blind dates, blind speed dates.
Yes.
Then you have to decide to get engaged, and then you can see them.
Right, and you get engaged in that blind date. So
Right.
before actually seeing the person, you are proposing. The man is proposing,
Correct.
and then they finally meet each other, and then the man gives the ring and everything else.
So just quick pause. So
Yeah.
at this stage where they're getting to know each other, they're behind a screen. All they have to go on is what they're saying, the sound of their voice, because they
Right.
can hear them. They can hear each other.
Yeah.
The sound of their voice, what the conversation
What
is.
is the conversation about?
That's it.
Yeah, the chemistry, like things in common that maybe they might find through conversation.
Right.
But that's it, nothing else.
Gotcha.
And anything that they could get from hearing the others' voices, because
And we'll get into it more, but
Yeah.
basically, it was questionable what they were allowed to talk about, because we were watching it and saying like, well, why wouldn't you ask certain questions, and why would they avoid
Yeah.
certain questions that would reveal more about them?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was edited in a way that you didn't get that feeling.
Exactly.
All right, go.
So the second step was once they were all engaged, right? All the engaged couple headed to a couple retreats in Mexico, and all the couples go, and they were able to see all the other potential partners they could have had. And on the third step, all the engaged couples moved to the same apartment complex. They all met their partners' families and explored their partners' living conditions. And on the fourth step, at the altar, on the wedding day, the engaged couple will either get married or split up. Say I do or I do not.
Gotcha.
So that's basically the show on a nutshell. But going more into detail, kind of like a review, I feel like the beginning of the show, like the first step where they're meeting each other, was very boring because of the fact that we were just seeing people talking to each other
Yeah.
without seeing each other. The conversation seemed very vague,
Disconnected.
right.
They were
yeah,
disconnected. They were superficial and disconnected.
Yeah. And
And
it was,
the responses were weird. I'm sorry to jump in, but
Yeah, it's
the
okay.
responses were weird because, and I have a feeling that it was the editing,
it was the editing.
because it was so weird. Like it would just go, hey, what's up? Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, so tell me something about yourself. Blah 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 blah. And then like cut, and then somebody else come, and then go back to this couple, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, I love you, and you're like,
Yeah,
what the
and-
fuck? And you're
right.
like from within in the same episode, it was cut so quick that you just got this feeling that they had one long conversation and fell in love in that conversation.
Right. Yeah.
And I understand that they're very loose with the word love. I understand that the whole premise of the show is that you're supposed to fall in love and marry somebody. So these people are going in already ready, prepared to talk like that and do that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that it seemed like the conversation were very focused on what are your feelings, how do you feel about marriage, blah, 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 blah. And then kind of like to have an answer right away to know if you want to get married or not. But not really getting to know each other in terms of what do we have in common, or I don't know, things that are more that you can have a conversation with anybody, maybe with a coworker, things that you do every day. It didn't seem like that.
I mean, I can definitely say that even on a casual conversation with a stranger that I first meet, I will ask more direct questions than these people were asking to each other.
Yeah. And it also,
To a potential husband or wife.
yeah.
Like I will ask somebody, like if you introduce me to, let's say, a friend of yours,
Yeah.
I will ask straight questions like, hey, so what do you do for a
So,
living?
yeah.
Where are you from? Hey, blah, blah, blah. And I'll start getting more, like, I need to ask questions to get to know you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to tell me that I'm going to meet a woman behind a screen that I'm not seeing, of course I'm going to
gonna ask
ask
all
a
the
ton
questions.
of questions
Yeah.
to get to know them.
Yeah.
and to figure out and guess what do they look like and what are they about.
Yeah.
So it was a little weird.
It was a little weird. But actually, I saw in an interview, like one of the couples, they said that they were really kind of like, not upset, but they would have liked if the editing was different, because they felt like they had a more deep connection when they were talking to each other.
Yeah.
But it seemed like the way that they edited, it seemed like they were just having fun and being funny.
Yeah.
But they didn't show when they really felt like that connection. I don't know.
So I think another thing to point out at this stage, and full spoilers, anybody who wants to see this show, go see it first and then come back and check out this podcast, because we're just talking about everything. Yeah, we're not here. This podcast, we never hold back. We just talk about everything.
Yeah.
We're assuming nobody's listening. But another thing at this stage that we noticed, and that was kind of like was that it was called Love is Blind.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't diverse.
No,
there wasn't a lot of diversity, and you would assume, I guess, us, because of who we are.
Yes.
We would assume that the concept of Love is Blind is much heavier than what the producers thought Love is Blind meant.
Yeah.
The cast is overall attractive people. Overall,
so 25
actors,
to 34.
They kind of look like actors.
Yeah.
All of them. They
all attractive.
They all could be in soap operas.
Black and white.
Yeah, basically black and white. There was maybe like two Latino
but they
personalities, but they were basically Americanized. And that was pretty much it. And
that
was weird. I figured that they would have more diversity to represent Love is Blind.
Right.
Like they would try to represent cross cultures, maybe Asian, maybe African,
belief systems.
Different religions, different belief systems, to kind of challenge that and see, like, is love blind?
Yeah.
Maybe different body types, different weights, different ages, different
because for the most part, they're all like content creator or fitness gurus or stuff like that. When you look at them afterwards on their Instagram, they're all kind of like in healthy things, healthy coach, this and that. So it wasn't really.
There wasn't like a lawyer and a fitness person and an artist and a chef and a construction worker and a nurse.
They were all kind of related into the content creator, the actress, maybe unemployed, but she was still an actress because But that was
it was
one
disappointing.
Of the things.
Like out the gate, because we kind of got into it because it was Valentine's Day.
It was Valentine's Day, and it dropped in Valentine's weekend.
So we were excited. We were like, oh, it's something for us to watch. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to get some wine. We're going to get some food. And we're going to have a good time with it.
Yeah, I was expecting something different. Like we said, because we watched The Circle before.
The Circle, The Circle was actually good.
The Circle was really good. So I thought I was... And I thought at the beginning when I started watching The Circle that it was going to be lame. And then it ended up being good. I was like, oh, maybe Love is Blind is going to be the same type of concept. But it ended up being like kind of weird.
Yep. So... But I don't want to disappoint you guys. It
gets better.
Exactly. So it is weird. It is disappointing, but still a train wreck that you want to watch.
Yeah.
And so if you're into watching train wrecks and you're into watching shows that are such garbage that you're like, fuck, I can't stop watching it because I got to find out how this ends. Yeah. Is it really this bad? Yes, it is as bad as you imagine it. It will be.
Yeah. And
yes,
you cringe.
And you cringe, but yes, you watch it. We did watch the whole freaking season.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for the...
And the reunion is coming this Thursday. So, perfect timing. We're going to see what happened with all of them.
Netflix wins again because it's trash TV, but we're watching it.
Right.
It's clickbait.
Right.
It's clickbait. The title and the premise is total clickbait for a junk, garbage, show. But keep going. So tell me about we're already halfway, but tell me about the couples.
Yeah, so there's Jessica and Mark. Jessica and Mark were one of the crazy couples for me. Jessica, since the beginning, was not sure about Mark. She had a crush on another guy that she was talking to when they were in the blind dates. And then when they finally meet each other, she's like trying to give Mark a chance. But then when she meets Barnett, which is the other guy she was talking to, she's like, oh my God, Barnett is so hot. I don't know about Mark. So she's all crazy. There's a difference in age. Mark is 10 years younger than Jessica. And for her, that was a whole big thing.
Which is ridiculous.
Compared
for
to
us.
Like, what the hell? That has nothing to... And they look like the same age, no
Yeah.
problem. This guy was super mature. He was ready for marriage. He was ready for kids. He was giving his 100%, even when she told him that, oh, Barnett
As you guys
is so
can tell,
hot.
Carla got invested.
Yeah, she got drunk and she told him, oh, Barnett is so hot, this and that. And even he was upset. And then the day after, he was like, you know what? That's things that happen. It's okay, blah, blah, blah. We're going to continue. It was crazy. So their resolution was that when they were going to get married, I thought that they were actually going to get married because at the final episode, she was kind of like giving a hint of, oh, the difference in age is not that much. He's really committed, blah, blah. But at the end, Jessica said, no, I do not. And
Right.
Mark wanted to get married. So
Yeah.
it was like a broken heart. But Jessica was
but
crazy.
the thing is, you could have telegraphed this from the minute he proposed.
No, yeah, because when he
You
first
could've-
proposed, for the first time, she said kind of like, "Oh no, I don't know."
Exactly.
Because I'm talking to
Well,
somebody
the
else.
fact that she was chasing somebody else and only used them as a second choice.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so then let's go to Barnett. So Barnett and Amber, these two are crazy, both of them.
These two are totally spring breakers.
Like yeah,
They're spring breakers, out partying, drunk,
So-
partying, having a good time, and they met each other.
Yeah.
That's the vibe. That's the
vibe that the producers wanted to give us.
Exactly.
But then I saw an interview. This is the couple I saw the interview with. She said that she was a little. He said, I'm sorry, that he was a little, that he wanted to see more of the connection that they had in the pods because he felt that the conversation was what led them to be together and not just being fun and being sexy and funny. And
I'm
all that.
gonna play devil's advocate and say, nah, there wasn't more.
Yeah,
He
most
thinks there
likely
was.
that was
He
it.
thinks there was. Man.
And then the worst part is that when they're finally meeting each other, she said, oh, I'm unemployed by choice. I have $700 in debt for makeup. I have student loans of a college that I never graduated from. And these are things that he had to deal with. And then at the end, he decides that love is stronger than debt. And they get together and they get married. Okay, so next one. It's Kenny and Kelly. I was very upset about this couple because they seemed like they were very in sync, but she never gave him an opportunity to be intimate because she said that he was not her type, which is very interesting because she went to the experiment wanting to prove that she can meet somebody because of their personality and not their looks, because that's what she used to do.
The overall vibe of the show is that they're saying love is blind, and everybody's saying, "Oh yeah, I don't care about the person's race." Mm-hmm. They kept saying race, and I that's another point about the show is I really feel that the show was nailing this, bringing this message of like black and white, interracial black and white. Like that was
black
like,
and white, interracial, just black and white.
I got this vibe that that's what they were shooting for, the way it was being edited, the characters that they portrayed, and the way that they highlighted certain things. It was like love is blind, race, and it was like, well, there's more than love is blind, just race. But okay, whatever. But in this case, I would say there is across the board, everybody they showed it. They were very clear to show that across the board, everybody once they revealed what they look like, had changed. Everybody changed.
Yeah.
Either they got clingier.
Yeah.
Like the ones with Barnett, the girl that got Barnett, because he was like the tall all American looking guy. Like all of a sudden, everybody clinged on him, and the girl that got him was even more defensive and clingier than ever before. Like
he's my one day in, he's my fiance, and I'm not gonna let nobody blah blah blah. I'm like,
so all of a sudden, like love was not blind. Love was like very much aware and using their eyeballs. Everybody, no matter what, was much more hyper aware once they revealed who they are. And so the show immediately proved that
love is not blind.
Love is not blind.
So about Kenny and Kelly, so Kelly was looking for, the good guy, very respectful, and this guy was perfect. I don't understand what happened to her. And then she said, no, I don't want to get married to you. What the fuck? I don't know. But okay. And then Demian and Giannina, or Gigi or whatever, Gigi is crazy. She's nuts. She was portraying like the crazy Latina girl, and I was very upset because she looks very white and she's Venezuelan. And then Damien was also crazy, but he was a little bit more kind of like he's trying to do the right thing. And then they were having fights and stuff. And at the end, in the altar, you know who says no? Damien. Damien said no. And then Cameron and Lauren,
Spoiler.
this is the interracial couple. So Cameron is white, Lauren is black. They're the strongest couple because they seem like the most genuine
and connected. I have to admit that they at the end of the whole show.
Yeah.
Yes, they're the ones that had the most feelings, and that you could tell, like, all right, that you got me, you got my heartstrings. But along the way, I was rooting against them along the way. And maybe it was the editing. Maybe it's the way that they were portraying themselves.
But even since the beginning, because at the beginning, she was kind of like, oh, this is going to be my husband. I have no problem. No, it's not black. It's okay. I have no problems. I'm going to be a wife. And she was so excited. And then when it was the time to get married, she was kind of like, I don't know if I can do it. Oh, everything is so fast. Oh, my. But what the fuck? You were in the freaking thing and you didn't thought about that?
Her interaction with the guy was the most upsetting to me, or the most frustrating to me with the Love is Blind concept, because when they were talking to each other, she's speaking with an obvious accent. It's so obvious, her accent. And he's speaking with an obvious accent. They're so obvious. There's not. They didn't even choose people. That's why I'm saying no diversity.
Yeah.
They didn't choose people that would even confuse you in their diversity.
Right.
They were so obvious.
Right.
And she was like, I don't know who I'm talking to.
You know
he
what?
could be a white guy. He could be Puerto Rican. He could be what?
And
I don't know what he is.
It's so obvious that you know that he's a white guy.
Exactly.
You know what would be a good oh my god character for this show is kind of like an Asian girl, because for the most part they sound kind of white when they talk. Like if you listen to
you're saying an Americanized
Asian, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, in conclusion, Love is not blind, and this show is crazy, but it was entertaining after the pods, because on the pods was very boring. But if you want to watch it, it's on Netflix. Love is blind, and the reunion is this Thursday. Thank you.
All right, good job, Carla.
You wanted me to teach you, right?
Podcast.
Oh my god!
You know what's not blind? You know what's not blind?
I had like a kind of like a cardio thing
my God.
going on. Wow.
You know what's not blind?
That was intense.
You know what's not blind?
What?
Hablando español is not blind.
That's definitely not blind, and we're gonna tell you why. So in this section of the podcast, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, very famous podcast, what we do is we speak Spanish. So we want to just teach you how to speak Spanish, just for you to speak it. You don't even have to know how to write it, but just listen to how it sounds and say it with us.
Yeah, it's more practicing Spanish.
Yes.
Some of you guys out there already know Spanish, but join us on this. Walk with us.
Yeah.
There might be some words that you might realize, oh shit, I didn't even know that word.
Right, that's right.
Let's do it, Carla.
Okay, how you say image?
Image. Image is Imagen.
Great.
I got one for you.
Okay.
How do you say blind?
Oh, pero ¿por qué? I had that.
I'm stealing it from you.
Blind is ciego.
Yes.
El amor es ciego.
Amor es ciego. Very good.
Yeah.
Good job, Carla.
Very good job. How do you say branding?
Branding. Ooh, I don't know. But I know, I think brand is marca.
Yeah.
Marca is brand.
Yeah.
So how do you say branding?
Branding is...
You don't know.
I don't know.
You want to throw it at me to try to trip me up.
Of course. So branding is actually marca o mercado. El mercado o la marca.
Okay. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Win.
Okay, how do you say intention in Spanish?
That's a good one. Intention is a good one. Intención?
Yes.
Now, intención, does it mean the same as intention? Like if I say, what is your intention?
Yeah.
How do you say, what is your intention?
¿Cuál es tu intención?
¿Cuál es tu intención? No, ¿qué es tu intención?
No, ¿cuál?
¿Cuál es tu intención? ¿Cuál is almost like which?
Yeah.
Right? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because in English, it's what is your
what
intention.
is your intention?
But in Spanish, it's which one is your intention.
¿Cuál es tu intención? Yeah.
That's it. I know you might not care, but
No.
to me, growing up and learning the differences between the languages, that's a huge difference in perspective of the word intention. Intention in English,
Because it's taken from given. It's like a given that you're gonna have different intentions.
correct.
So it's
In
asking
Spanish.
you specifically
In
Spanish.
In Spanish, you're assuming that people have
That you
multiple
have,
intentions.
or that you have already have an intention. But which one is it?
Which one is your intention? In English, it's what is your intention.
Yeah.
Very good distinction. Thank you.
Very great distinction.
Dale, what's next?
Okay, what's next?
I got one for you.
Tell me.
How do you say altar? Like when you're at the wedding altar.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
That's in churches, you know.
Yep.
That's an altar. Is the same, and it's you write it the same way. Altar.
Go.
Okay. How do you say date
Wow,
in
date.
Spanish?
Bueno, date is a cita. Una cita. But is that date like a romantic date?
Yeah.
Se dice cita?
Yeah.
Because I associate cita almost with an appointment.
I know.
But
it's cita.
So,
I
so
mean,
a doctor's appointment is una cita.
es una cita médica.
So date is una cita romántica?
Romántica, sí. Pero like cita is like
That's a really good one, actually. This is a good one that you're bringing up because it says a lot about dating in Spanish.
It's a little bit more formal.
If you are truly Spanish,
Yeah.
dating is it's not.
But that's
it's not what we consider dating in American in English.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Like that's the formal word, but you can say like estoy saliendo con. Voy a
Saliendo is
salir
going
con.
out, going out.
Yeah, but you can actually say if you're dating somebody, you say estoy saliendo con esta persona. Blah blah blah.
But if you're gonna say you and me, we're gonna meet for a date.
You can say
Vamos a salir.
voy a salir. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like kind of
Yeah,
like the
but that
slang in like normal conversation will be voy a salir o estoy saliendo con.
Okay, I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, Latin culture, but I think you lost something there. You went from very formal to very loose.
Yeah.
And there's no in the middle. The middle is date.
Yeah.
So in English, you have courting,
Date.
which is like kind of like the American dating thing, and then you have
Or
just going out,
Yeah.
which actually just means just fucking. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I you guys out there, maybe you guys know something that we don't. How do you say dating
In
in Spanish? Like
yeah.
if you're gonna go on a date with somebody.
I've only
Cita,
dated in
'cause
English.
Cita is very formal. Una
Yeah.
cita sounds very formal.
Yeah.
There has to be a better phrase for it. What
Yeah.
else you got?
So how you say blind date? Blind date.
Una cita ciega.
That's right. Cita a ciegas. Okay, how do you say ignore?
Ignorar.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm all over that.
How you say fight?
Pelea.
Okay.
I'm all over
How
this.
do you say win?
Ganar.
That's right. And that's what we do in this podcast. We win. All we do is win, 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 no matter what.
Good job, Carla. Good job. Way to segue.
That's right. Thank you,
And
everybody.
With that being said, we wrap up another show.
Yes.
All right. Well, I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys gained something from this conversation. Again, this is not a one-way conversation. If you guys want to join us on this conversation, please go on our Instagram, Cortez with an S, Cortez NYC Livestream on Instagram. Leave us a comment. Leave us a message.
Yes.
Tell us, hey, I listened to episode number 90.
And you guys were crazy. What are you talking about?
Whatever you want to say, but but definitely engage with us. We set a goal. We set a goal for 100 episodes. We're only 10 away.
Yes.
And we're gonna see beyond that what we do. Maybe we reboot. Maybe we refresh. But
stay
come
tuned.
along. Yeah, no, come along for the ride.
Yeah.
Let's do this.